Ever since Season 2 of Rising of the Shield Hero was announced, the community has been extremely hyped for the continued storyline of Naofumi and Raphtalia. I'm here to speak for the people, in saying that it's a tad bit overhyped and has a largely average storyline. Before I continue, I just want to make sure everybody realizes that I'm going to be taking a large portion of my argument from the light novels, which follow Season 1. While this may be a different piece of source material, it still has a large influence over Season 2, which is currently airing. When I first started watching Rise of the Shield Hero, I was pretty much hooked on the first episode. The series had a huge kick to it that gave it a lot of interest and gave it lots of its popularity in its early days. The anime, which started as your typical isekai, where the character had to adapt to his new world and surroundings, began to take a little bit of a different route. The story began to focus on this idea of revenge and themes of retribution, all while focusing on the antagonist of the series who, initially, was considered an ally. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoyed those early episodes. Even though the series continues to rub in this idea of revenge, it was still enjoyable. Once Naofumi gets his shit together and has Multi arrested, I felt super satisfied. But I was left wondering, how would they go about this series? I decided, I'm gonna pick up the light novel, and I began reading. The quality of this series begins to drop off following Season 1. The main attraction for many was the revenge plot, which becomes satisfactory once we reach the end of the season. Following the scenario that got many of us into the series, it begins to become another generic isekai. The storyline starts to follow your basic hero who travels around the world while saving everybody. The show doesn't necessarily go to shit, but the drop in quality is definitely noticeable. My reasoning is as follows. As the story progresses, many characters are introduced into the cast. The problem with this is that many of these characters who are introduced are, simply put, bland and annoying characters, with stereotypical character types, such as tsunderes. Some characters were enjoyable to read, but the books left a lot to be desired. Another thing that really turned me off was the direction they took with the world building. While this series begins to expand upon the world in future volumes, a large portion of it only relates to events or scenarios directly concerning the main character's party. The author doesn't try to expand our horizons past the Shield Hero and the rest of our cast of characters, by maybe introducing us to different circumstances, different from your typical bad guy antagonist and social dilemmas toward the Shield Hero. The biggest offender, for me, are the action scenes. In the novels, pretty much every volume is action. Every other page is action. And the worst part is, it's all garbage. It follows your typical bad guy who happens to be stronger than the last and won't seem to die stereotype. The story likes to take huge random swings regarding the plot that sometimes make reading it confusing. But wait, don't worry. The anime is still releasing. I'm looking forward to seeing the direction in which they take the show and whether they are able to patch up plot holes seen in the novels. If they add a touch of creativity to our characters and make minor changes regarding the presentation of key antagonists and world-building moments, this series might be an enjoyable watch this season. We will just have to wait and see. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe.